I don't always tuck. Depends on the shirt.
High noon. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Nobody's watching yet.
Oh.
Now you do. Cora.
Hi, Cora. Can you hear us? Me? Hi, Michelle. Slow flow today. We're going to start in a seat. If you need a block, grab a block. All right. Okay. Starting in a seated posture. You can sit cross legs. You can sit on your knees. Support your hips with something, a block, a pillow, a cushion, whatever. We're going to start with a little breath, a little centering. Straighten your spine once you find your seat. Maybe let the eyes fall softly closed, or you can just look toward the tops of your cheeks if you would rather not close your eyes. Start to notice your breath. Start to lighten, loosen your grip on anything that's not your breath. So whatever's happening in your mind with maybe spinning thoughts, fears, worries, doubts, any of that stuff, kind of the natural tendencies of our brains to think, to process. Pause that. You can resume after you're done with your practice. But for now, you're paying attention to your breath. You're paying attention to what's happening inside your body, the activity that's going to occur on this rectangle over the next 60 minutes or so. Shift your presence there, onto this perimeter, the space that you occupy. And that's a pretty tall order, especially given the circumstances that we're all living in. So give yourself a little grace. Understand that you're human. Really grasp onto that concept that this yoga practice doesn't take that away. It just allows us to maybe notice our patterns, our tendencies, our habits. And maybe we learn to not react to those things here on the mat. Maybe. Maybe it happens in micro bits. Maybe it happens all at once. Maybe today is when you notice for the very first time. But you give yourself that opportunity for all of that possibility when you slow down and pay attention. So we do that with the breath, in and out, by using only the nose. And notice how that feels. Sometimes the exhale can feel a little shaky as you try to press it out through both sides of the nose. Try to smooth those shaky edges. If that means a bigger breath, a smaller breath, whatever you need to do in your body, in your breath, to find some smoothness, some stability. And then once you've got that, we're going to start to shift our attention inside the chest, into the rib cage, into your heart space, your fourth chakra, the bridge, Anahata. So chakra is the Sanskrit word for wheel. So you have these 7 spinning wheels of energy along your spinal column. Your heart is the bridge between your base chakras, the bottom of the body, and the upper chakras, where you do finer things like think, process, problem solve. And our heart links those two places together. So as the bridge, it gets blocked quickly, often. Use your breath, use your attention. Think about that green wheel of spinning energy inside of your rib cage, even, balanced. Nothing's blocking it. Anything that does block it, you let that go on your exhale. Just presence inside of the chest, in the heart. And your heart is a source of limitless potential, unconditional love, acceptance, forgiveness, compassion. All of those things reside here in your chest. And it's not just your chest, it's your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your fingers, everything you touch, all of your actions, all that you do translates that unconditional love, energy. If you need to set an intention to accompany that awareness, do that now. If you've already set your intention, you're in good shape. Maybe a few more breaths here, seated, present. Take one more full round of breath in, all the way out. Now blink your eyes open if they were closed so you can look ahead of your shins, coming forward onto fours, hands and knees. So the hands will go under the shoulders, the knees will go under the hips, and you're going to find your breath here in tabletop. Turn the eyes of the elbows forward, tops of the feet are on the mat, toes point back. From here, take a breath in. As you breathe out, sit back on your heels. Now notice if you sit back on your heels, if that happens easily, great. If you need to put something between your hips and your heels to make that a little more accessible, do that. If you want to sit all the way on the mat and let your ankles go outside of your hips, do that. Vajrasana, kneeling pose. So palms face up in the lap. Quads are lengthening, tops of the feet are stretching. Chin stays in. Jalandhara Bandha. So you keep the back of the neck long and you keep that breath moving free and easy. We'll move a little slower with practice this morning so you can feel all of these poses, feel the energetic effects. And we use these poses with the breath to start to create some change internally, maybe externally, how you perceive things, how you react. Take one more breath in, all the way out. Now your next inhale will inspire you to stand up on your shins. Knees are hip distance, hip points are over the knees, tops of the feet are on the mat. Now you're going to inhale and float the arms up. At the top of your inhale, lift the chin to look at the fingers. As you exhale, you're going to sit down on your heels first, then your ribs touch the thighs, then your forehead and fingers will touch around the same time. And then you'll use your inhale to come all the way back up, leading with the fingers, chest lifts off. Top of your inhale, lift the chin, look at the fingers, and then as you exhale, come back down, hinging. Slow and steady, use the breath to inspire the movement. Ribs hit first, forehead, fingers. That's a tall order, so give yourself a little grace. Take a few more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Inhale. Notice the pause within the breath cycle, the suspension, the retention. Hang out in child's pose for a couple breaths. Let the elbows be soft. Let the forearms be heavy. If the knees aren't apart as far as they can be apart, that's fine. Just let this child's pose be easy. Breathe. Notice the sensation as you breathe in, the space in the low back, the kidneys, the organs that house our fear, cortisol, the stress hormone. Stretch those kidneys out, the space between them with the breath. Inhale. As you exhale, let yourself be heavy. Now inhale inspires you up onto fours into cow pose. As you breathe in, press up. Now tailbone touches the back of the head, really arching the back a lot. So lift the chin, yeah. And then as you exhale, round, cat pose, damn. Inhale, open up, tailbone to the back of the head, really arch, exaggerate the arch. And then as you exhale, round, hollow out, let the head be heavy. Good, do that 3 more times. Good. Feeling the breath. Articulate, so you're moving the tailbone and then ultimately the top of the spine. So waving energy from the base chakras toward the top of the head, the crown. Good, and then settle here. Once you finish your last one, finish that exhale, good. And then settle back into table, hands and knees. Good. Now from your tabletop, come into cobra pose. So drop your hips. You maybe need to move the knees back a little bit. Good. Just lower down. Hug the elbows in. It can be a sweet little baby cobra, hardly lifted off the floor at all. That's fine. You certainly can feel the back muscles with a little cobra. Or if you want to lift into maybe a medium or even a high, you can kind of start to test the waters in the low back, the mid back, squeezing the shoulders together, activating those muscles between the blades, hugging the elbows in, Jalandhara, so the back of the neck stays long. You're not overarching the neck by cranking the chin up. Press the tops of the feet down, the tailbone down. Feel the inner thighs rolling toward the ceiling, the sky, wherever you're practicing. Breathe here. Notice if you're squeezing the glutes, soften the glutes. Relax here, even though your low back may be telling you that you're not really relaxing. Soften some pieces while you activate others. We always have that balance in every pose between strength and ease. Take one more inhale in cobra. As you exhale, forehead to the floor. Use your inhale to press back to Balasana, child's pose. Feel the low back stretch. Good. Now we're going to link those pieces together and make a little flow, a mini sun salutation. So from your child's pose, take a breath in. As you breathe out, stand all the way up or sit all the way up first onto your heels. Yeah. And then stand up on an inhale onto your shins. Top of your inhale, look at your fingers, reach the arms. As you exhale, hinge back, sit on your heels, ribs touch first, forehead, forearms, pinkies. Good. And now inhale into cow pose, press up onto fours, arching the back, tailbone to back of the head. Exhale, round, cat. Inhale, flatten out the spine, tabletop, and then lower slow all the way down. You can lengthen out your table so you can hit the deck a little easier. And then hold cobra, breathe in. Stay to breathe out. Take one more breath in. As you breathe out, lower down. Inhale, back to child's pose. Exhale from child's pose into downward facing dog. Press up onto fours, arch the back, lift the knees, hips high. Good. First time in down dog, so take a few breaths to arrive, to land. Pedal, shift. Do what dogs do when they wake up, what cats do when they wake up. Just kind of move around intuitively. One knee can bend, the other heel can reach. Rooting into the palms, into the knuckles. Turn the eyes of the elbows forward. The thumb and the first finger really root and press. Second toe is lined up behind the heel. Notice the hamstrings. Maybe the hamstrings are open as can be and the legs can be very straight. No problem. Maybe the hamstrings feel like they're made of concrete and aren't very open this morning or this afternoon. Then you'll keep the knees bent, using the breath to open the backs of the legs. Take one more inhale in your down dog. As you exhale, put the knees on the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up. Top of the inhale, look at the fingers, arms overhead. As you exhale, hinge, hips to heels, child's pose, ribs to thighs, forehead, arms to floor. Use your inhale to find cow pose, arch. Your exhale to cat. Inhale, forward, flatten, lengthen all the way down for your back bend. Hug the elbows, breathe in, lift up. Stay for your breath out, relax your glutes. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, lower down. Inhale, press back to child's pose. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, find your breath in your down dog. Take an inhale to push the floor away. And exhale to reach through your heels, even though if they're 3 inches from the floor, it doesn't matter. Make them heavier. Breathe in, press into the arms. Breathe out, reach through the heels. Take an inhale, put the knees down. Use your exhale to walk the hands back by the knees. Inhale, arms reach up, chin lifts, look at the fingers. Exhale, hinge, fold. Inhale, press up. Hands and knees, arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, flatten out, lower down, Bhujangasana. Stay for your exhale. Take one more breath in. Lower as you breathe out. Inhale back to child's. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now from your down dog, really root and plant the hands. Commit to strong arms, connecting to the mat, rooting through the fingers. Lift your right leg. Once your right leg is lifted, bend your knee and stack your hips. Still pressing into the hands evenly. Notice the left shoulder. It wants to dip in. Keep the left shoulder high. Biceps are by the ears. The neck is relaxed. Maybe you rotate your right ankle. Go both directions. Spread the toes. Look over your left shoulder. Take an inhale to straighten your right leg. Use your exhale to bring your right foot all the way through, a long runner's lunge. You can drop your back knee if that makes this a little more accessible. Otherwise, you're here in a long lunge. Your left heel is over the center of the foot. You can climb up onto fingertips. You're letting the hips be heavy, checking out that right hip. Right knee is over the right ankle. A clean line if the left heel is lifted from your heel through the crown of your head. Pull the right hip back, the left toes forward. Nothing really moves, but your lunge just got a lot more interesting. Take one more breath in. As you breathe out, plank. Press into the hands. Move the heels up over the centers of the feet, and if that moves the chin past the fronts of the fingers, that's fine. That's what you want a little anyway, is a little pressure in the fronts of the wrists to prepare them for chaturangas. Not that we'll be doing that many today, but maybe tomorrow.
Sore toes.
If you have sore toes, put your knees on the floor. You're still informing your back strength. You're still informing your core strength. If you feel this too much in the shoulders, lift your hips, or no, drop your hips a little bit so you feel it more in the core. If you feel it too much in the back, lift your hips up. Good, neutral. Take one more inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, press into the arms, press into your right leg, lift your left leg high. Open and stack on this side, but don't let the shoulders dip. The right shoulder has a propensity to drop into center. Keep it as high as the left. Forearms are lifting, grounding through the hands. Relax the neck. Rotate the ankle. If you rotate it on side one, rotate on side two. Now inhale, straighten it out. Exhale all the way up between the hands. You can take a couple steps to get there or one giant step. Right knee can stay up or drop it. You decide. But start to amp up your lunge a little bit. If you need more, if you need less, then you modify. Right heel is over the center of the foot. Left hip is drawing back. Right toes forward. If that right heel is lifted, a clean diagonal from the heel through the crown. Jalandhara, so you're not overlifting the chin. Take one more breath here. Stay to breathe out. Use your inhale to plant your hands and step it back, plank. Now heels over the center of the toes on your breath in. As you breathe out, use your knees, help you all the way down to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Maybe it's a little higher cobra. You've gotten the back a little bit, you're warming a little bit in the back. Hug the elbows in, tuck the chin a little bit more. Good, take one more inhale. Feel the place between the shoulders, get a little more squeeze. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press to fours. As you exhale, arch the back. And then inhale, downward face. Good. From your down dog, lift both heels as you breathe in. Bend both knees as you breathe out. Look at your thumbs and then walk on your toes as long as you can until you get to your hands and then put the heels down. Good. Inhale, hands to the shins, flat back. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, stand up, arms out and reach up. As you exhale, reach the arms behind, take an interlace. Take an inhale to stretch the elbows, straighten the arms, open the chest. As you exhale, bring a little fist around to your left hip, so both hands together to your left hip. Draw your left elbow back, left ear to the left shoulder. So your right elbow gets heavier, your right shoulder gets heavier. Front ribs tuck in. Heels are pressing, toes are soft. Soften the knees so you're not locking out. Just breathing into the right side of the chest. Take one more breath in. As you breathe out, straighten the arms back to center, lift the head back to center, take an inhale. As you exhale, bring your little fist around to your right hip, right ear to the right shoulder, make the left side heavier, breathe into this stretch. Squeeze your fist a little tighter on that right hip, draw your right elbow back, space in the chest. Take one more breath in. Stay here to breathe it out. And then an inhale back to center. Straighten up, release the arms, shake them out. You can take some shrugs with the shoulders to the ears, move back, good. Now from here, step to the top of your mat. Use your inhale to reach your arms over your head. Exhale to forward fold. From your forward fold, grab opposite elbows. Dangle here for a few breaths. Amp up the legs by pressing down into the heels. Bend the knees enough so the ribs can make contact onto the thigh bones. And then from there, keeping the ribs and the thighs together, maybe you start to straighten the legs, but keeping that contact with the chest. And then you're not going to overstretch the hamstrings. Good. Release the elbows if you're holding on. Bring the hands to the shins. Press the shins back and pull the heart forward. Tuck the chin, take a breath in. As you breathe out, soften and fold. Inhale, stand up, reach up, open the arms as you lift. As you breathe out, all the way down to fold. Inhale, half flat, lengthen, lift up. Exhale, soften and fold. Bend the knees, circle the arms, stand up, reach up. We're going to go one more time through our half sun salutation. As you exhale, forward fold, down you go. Inhale, halfway lift, linking the movement with the breath. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, stand up, reach open. Exhale, forward fold, all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your right foot back, put your right knee on the floor. If you want a little more juice here, you can leave that back knee lifted. Use your inhale to reach the arms by the ears. Use your exhale to take an interlace with the left thumb on top. Pull the knuckles toward your right calf muscle, open the chest. Lift out of the low back. So you're lifting the chest toward the chin, so you're not compressing into the lumbar spine. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, release, frame your front foot. Step back to plank. Decide in plank if you want a push-up or if you want to go back to down dog. Do that. Lower down on your exhale. Inhale into a back bend, and then we meet back up in down dog. From your down dog, lift your right leg like we did earlier, and then open, bend, and stack. Keep the shoulders neutral. Inhale, straighten the right leg, lift it up. As you exhale, bring it all the way up between the fingers. Good. Back into that lunge. You practiced this earlier. Take one more inhale, lift the chest. As you exhale, step your left foot to meet your right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, stand up, open, and reach. As you exhale, all the way back down you go. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Plant your hands, left foot back, left knee down. Inhale to reach your arms by your ears. Use your exhale to firm up. Right hip back, left hip forward. Take one more inhale. Exhale, reach for the interlace behind the back. Right thumb will go on top. Knuckles toward your left knee ditch. Lift the chest toward your chin. Feel a back bend through the mid to upper back. So you're not compressing in the lumbar spine. The hips are gently pressing forward. Take one more breath in. Use your breath out to frame your right foot. Step your right leg back to plank. Decide in plank if you want to push up or not. You can lower on an exhale. Lift back up on an inhale. Open the chest. Exhale over the toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left leg on an inhale will lift high. You'll bend and stack. Keep the shoulders level. Inhale, straighten it out. As you exhale, all the way up. Find your long lunge. Use your right leg. Get some power there as long as your toes aren't bothering you. Take one more inhale. And then as you exhale, step to the top. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold in. Stand up, reach up, open. As you exhale, hands to the heart. Pause here. Just feel what's happening in your body, what's happening in your breath. Without your attention, you're just going through the motions and this is all meaningless. So pay attention. What happens on your mat matters a lot. I think. I'm biased. Moon salutes, a different variation of moon salutes. So we start at the top of the mat. Inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, crescent stretch to the right. So your right hand can take your left wrist if you want a little more juice, or you can keep the palms together and just lean with palms touching. If you've got the wrist, turn the left palm down toward the long right side of your mat for a little different stretch through the shoulder underneath that left tricep. Good. Take an inhale. As you exhale, come back to center, reset to get longer, and then go to the left. You can either take the right wrist or keep the palms together, but the right palm faces down. Down meaning to the floor. Good. Move your right shoulder back, press more into your right heel. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a giant step back with your left leg. Good. Goddess. Turn your right toes to face the long edge. Good. Now, to set up goddess, extend your arms long and your wrists are directly above your ankles. However, that can be pretty wide. So if you need to bring your legs closer, do that. Now, goddess, heels are in, toes are out. Bend your elbows. Yeah, good. Knees keep moving back toward the back of your mat. Elbows are as high as your shoulders. Good. Soften the toes. Find little puffs of air underneath each inner arch. Good. Stay here and breathe. Let the tailbone be heavy. Front ribs tuck in. Take one more inhale in goddess. As you exhale, straighten your legs, 5-pointed star. Legs are straight, arms are straight. Reach the arms up. Yes, good. Now feel all of your lines of energy through both feet, through both hands, and then the spinal column. So 5 lines. Take an inhale. As you exhale, triangle pose, right toes face forward, drop down. You can turn your left foot in a little bit. Drop your right hand down. So you're not collapsing on your right leg. You keep some energy moving through both sides of the waist. Left arm can reach up. Good. Soften your knees so you're not locking out. Relax your toes. Your little air puffs are still under both arches. Good. Now, feel the length from your tailbone through the top of your head. You can tuck the chin a little bit. So keeping the spine long. Now, you still have those 5 lines of energy. They're just shifting in different directions. So think about that. Think about as open as you can keep all of those places without locking out. Take an inhale. As you exhale, pyramid pose. Drop your left hand. You're going to take pyramid on the right. So bring your left foot in. One hand to either side of your right leg. If you want to bind this, you can bring the hands behind you, elbows, or Viparita Namaskar, prayer hands behind you. For pyramid, the right hip moves back, the left hip gently spills forward, and you're long through the whole spine. So the chin or the forehead can reach toward your right foot. Either one are at the top of your spine, so you're going to lengthen as you're reaching. Good. Now from your pyramid, you're going to take a lunge into your right knee. Put your left knee down. Now this is a little more lungy than the first sun salutes we did by pressing your hips forward toward your right heel. Now if you do that and your right knee wings way past your ankle, move your foot forward so you keep your shin perpendicular with your sticky mat. Breathe here. Chances are you've got a bit happening through your left psoas. And then if you let your head be heavy, you get a little more through your left psoas. There's a whole book on that muscle, you know, if you want to borrow it once social distancing is up and our germs can mingle on our books again. Couple more breaths here in your lunge. We're going to take this into Skandasana. Skanda is Ganesha's little brother, if you forgot. Tuck your left toes, pick your back knee up, and you're going to turn toward the top corner of your mat, bending your right knee, your left leg goes long. So it's still a lunge, you're just facing the long side of your mat. Left knee and left toes point toward the sky. If this right heel is lifted, oh well, put something underneath it, a pillow, a block, support it somehow, or you can float it. You can play with balance here. You can stay on the fingers or you can bring your hands to your heart. If you've got this back heel propped, it's a lot easier to balance. Now we're going to come into a squat in the center of your mat. So put your hands down, walk yourself back to center. Wide legs, bend the knees. So think goddess, but really a lot deeper in the knees. Hands at the heart. Use the elbows to the inner thighs to press the knees back. Move the chest forward. Think about the spine. Tailbone down, crown up. Think about how much they squat in other cultures and how much we don't squat here. Maybe that's the missing piece in America. We needed to squat more. Take one more breath in. Now we're going to do all this stuff on the other leg. So first we start in Skandasana. We go the opposite way. So you're going to walk over to your left, extend your right. If you need to grab your prop for your left heel, do that. And then think about your pieces again. Your spine, your core. Pull it in. Maybe some balance. Right knee, right toes pointing up. Take one more inhale in your Skandasana. As you exhale, put your hands down. You're going to face the back end of your mat coming into that lunge. So your left knee bends. Right knee is going to go to the floor. More lungy in the hips, so press the hips toward your left heel. Left knee stays over the ankle, so adjust your left foot to make that happen. And then let your hips be heavy. Think about maybe lifting the chest a little bit.
What muscle is this again?
Psoas, right side.
The psoas?
Psoas. Take one more inhale. And now as you exhale, pyramid. So press into your hands, lift your back knee, drag your back foot in, much closer than your other standing lunges. Left leg is straight. Take an inhale to lift your chest and an exhale to fold over your left leg. Now same thing here. If you want to bind the arms, you can even bring the hands to the hips to start to experiment with purely legs here. Left hip moves back, right hip gently forward. Chin or crown toward your left toes. Breathe. Now from pyramid, we go back to triangle. So your left hand is going to go onto the inside of your left foot, or you can hang on to your left shin. If you're comfortable with your stance, your pyramid stance and triangle, that works. Right arm will lift up. If you need a block or something under your left arm to support you, great. Remember your spine. Tailbone through the crown. Chin stays in. Expanding from fingertips on the right hand to fingertips on the left. There's a line. Right hip through your right heel, there's another line. Left hip through left heel, another line. Take one more breath in. As you breathe out, you can soften your left knee a smidge. You're going to stand all the way up into your 5-pointed star. Turning your toes, yes. Good. Take a couple breaths here, just feeling what you feel. Take one more inhale. Goddess. Heels in, toes out a smidge. Drop the hips. Good. Try to keep the pelvis neutral. So depending on how your sacrum is put together, you may have more of a natural curve in your low back. Think about maybe an anchor on your tailbone, and then maybe a balloon on the crown, so you're lifting the spine. Yes, good. Now for goddess, we have to get back to the front of your mat, which is really the back of your mat. So turn your left toes toward the back, all the way to the back. Stand up a little bit. It's kind of awkward. Right foot is going to step to the back. Here you go, Cora, facing the back. Now we've got to get back to the other side. So step all the way to the edge so you have plenty of real estate. Good. Crescent stretch. Inhale. You can wipe off your face first if you want to. I thought you were going for your towel.
I itched my knee.
Oh. That's allowed. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, go to the right. Good. Take your left wrist, press into your left heel, turn your left palm down, front ribs in. Now just notice what's different this round. They'll be the same poses, but notice your perspective. Notice how things may have shifted inside. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the left, right arm up and over. Right palm faces down, anchor through your right heel, move the right shoulder back so the chest is open. Good. Use an inhale to come to center. Use an exhale to bring the hands to the heart. Now your right foot is going to step toward the front of your mat, a big step with the right leg. Good. Goddess. Bend the knees. Good. Pockets of air under your arches. Move the knees back. Now maybe reach the arms up. Interlace the fingers. Flip the palms. Stretch the armpits. Drop the hips a little lower. Good. Good. Take one more breath in. 5-pointed star. Straighten your knees. Arms reach straight up. All of your energetic lines. Take an inhale. As you exhale, triangle pose on the left. Good. Now you were just here in triangle pose, so notice what's different, what feels the same. Take your right arm over your right ear as you inhale. As you exhale, right arm toward your right hip. Inhale, arm reaches over. Exhale to the right hip. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Now, turn your chest over your left leg for pyramid. Drag your right foot in. Good. Maybe hands at the hips or hands to the low back. If the hands are on the low back, maybe your left hand takes your right wrist and you straighten the elbows. Good. Control your breath in and out using only the nose. If you take a bind and you can't control the breath, then maybe you need to put the hands down. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, release the bind. Bend your left knee a lot coming into that lunge. So put your right knee down if you want a little more juice. Keep your back knee lifted. If you want to twist here, you can take a twist. Right hand goes down, left arm reaches up. Only if you want the twist, otherwise you stay facing the left leg. Good. Take one more breath in. As you breathe out, Skandasana, left knee bends sharply, turn onto your right heel, right toes, point up, good. Hands to the heart, maybe one hand, maybe both hands. Take one more breath in. As you breathe out, back to center into your squat. So it's goddess, but deep knee bends. Feet can be closer if Malasana is a little more accessible. Good. Good. Elbows into the inner thighs, tailbone down, chest forward, Jalandhara, Mula Bandha, pelvic floor up and in, navel to spine. Take 3 more breaths in your squat. Woo! My microphone just fell. Hope you can still hear me. If you can't, I'm sure you'll tell me. Now, Skanda on the right. Right knee bends, left leg long. Turn your knee and your toes to the ceiling. Hands to the heart. Maybe you prop your right heel, long spine. Good. Stay with the breath. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, pivot on your right foot, forward facing low lunge, or you can lift it up. By it, I mean your back knee. Pressing the hips forward. Maybe the right toes need to move forward a little bit. Maybe you twist this side. If you twisted back on the back. Take one more breath in. As you breathe out, right hand down, pick up your back knee for pyramid. We're going to go back the way we came. So right leg will be straight, maybe the hands to the hips. If you've got the hands to the hips, maybe you try the sacrum. Right hand will take the left wrist, elbows will straighten. Keep lengthening through the spine, just like you did on the first side, chin or crown toward the right foot, controlling the breath. From pyramid, Trikonasana. Put your hand inside of your foot or hold on to your shin. And then right ribs down, left ribs up. Ease your way in. Build it from the foundation, so from your feet. Inner arches lift, soften the knees, find your energetic lines. Both legs, both arms, long spine. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, left arm over the left ear. Exhale, left hand to the left hip. Inhale, arm over the ear. Exhale, reach back. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Good. Now you can keep your left arm behind you. Stand up into your goddess. So bend your right knee, right arm will reach, turn your right toes. Yeah, there you go. Maybe you bring your feet in a little closer, drop the hips. If you wanted that deeper version on this time through as well, reach up, take an interlace, flip the palms, let the tailbone be heavier, certainly tractioning the spine here as you lift through the armpits. Yeah, nice. Take one more breath in. 5-pointed star, breathe out, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Good. Breathe. Now, chakra 4 style, reach back and catch a grab. Catch an interlace. Take an inhale to lift your chest. And exhale, fold in with a flat back. Soften the knees, let this be easy. Stretching the chest, maybe working the knuckles toward the back of the head. Maybe one day we rest them on the floor, up here somewhere.
Almost there.
Almost there. But don't collapse in the neck, so keep lifting the knuckles. Think about the space between the shoulders. Good. And now bring the hands to the hips. Feel the difference there. Push the hips back as you let the head be heavy. Just really feel this earth element here in the bottom of the body. Now walk yourself around to your right foot. Stay low. Good. Right toes toward the front of your mat. Drop your left knee. Scoot your right toes to the left side. Lay your right calf down. Pigeon. Now use your left toes to scooch that left knee back more. If you need to put something under your right hip, do that. Take a couple breaths upright. Let your left hip be heavy. Sweet talk it a little bit to get it to drop a little. And then if you feel like you need a little more here, you can lay over your right leg. If you have plenty where you are, stay, breathe. If this is sharpshooting, electrical, my knee might explode pain, flip over and don't do this. Take a hip stretch on your back, laying on your back and hugging your right knee into your chest, finding a hip stretch that way. Notice here in pigeon how your physical body feels. Notice what you feel in your right hip, what you feel in the front of your left hip, maybe in the top of your left foot. Maybe what happens in your left shoulder when you move your left ankle, whatever. Notice all of these subtle things that are a lot more obvious while you're on your mat. Now from your pigeon, take a breath in, clear it all out. Good. Use an inhale to bring you up out of your pigeon. If something's underneath your right hip, move it out. Sit on your hips, keep your left leg long. Janu Shirshasana facing the left. So your right knee is going to bend in. Good. Now for this pose, you can put your left elbow on your left thigh or put your left elbow on a block. Your left arm is going to lay down inside or out on top of your left leg. And then you're going to turn your rib cage, left ribs down, right ribs up. Lift your right arm and notice how far you reach before this right hip pops off the floor. You want this right side to stay anchored and your shoulders to stay stacked. Keep breathing into this whole right side. Good. Find a level of stretch, a depth of stretch where you can still take easy breath. If you're stretching so far you can't breathe, not so much what we're going for here. Take 3 more breaths. Last breath in. And then clear that out. Now use an inhale to lift up. Use your right obliques. Turn your chest squarely over your left leg. Take an inhale to reach both arms up. Feel the hips anchored. Feel the space in the side body. And then Janu Sirsasana over your left leg. Straight on. Good. If you can grab your foot, great. If you need to have the hands outside of the leg, so you can kind of pull with the fingers to lift the chest and then lean. Belly, chest, chin in that order of lowering. So you're not going to round and hunch. Keep the tailbone anchored, reaching through the crown. Take 3 more breaths, pulling the navel in as you inhale, getting longer through the back as you exhale. Now from here, you'll use an inhale to inspire you to lift off of your left leg. Put your right hand behind your right hip. We're going to stand up and do a little chest opening. Stand on your right knee and your left foot. Lift your left arm and then take some circles. They can be full circles with the left arm. Go 2 or 3 times one way and then go the other direction. But keep pressing into your right hand. Keep lifting your right hip. Okay. And then when you feel like you've got enough movement in that left shoulder and the chest, you can lower the hips down. Pigeon on the left. Left knee will bend. You're going to just stay seated, face the back of the mat. Let your right leg go long. Turn your chest. Move that left foot over. Now give yourself some time here. Let that left hip be heavy. Coax it down. Let the front of the right hip be heavy.
It's my toes are
Oh, sorry.
very sore right now, so I was trying to
Modify.
get the behind them is sore, you know?
Give yourself a couple breaths to let your hips settle, and then when you feel like it's time, fold over your left shin. And again, if you have some sharp electrical type pain happening in your left knee, find another option on your back for this hip stretch. Land here in your breath. Identify where you feel this. Send your breath, your attention directly there, the front of your right hip, the outer left, all of those layers of muscle. Three more breaths. You'll use an inhale when you're ready to come up. Hands will walk closer to your left leg. Press yourself up. If there's something under your left hip to support, get rid of it so you can sit on your hips. Right leg is going to stay long. Parivrita, Janu Sirsasana first. So right elbow can lay on the thigh, or you can put a block or some supportive something underneath your right arm. Turn your chest first. So right ribs down, left ribs up, left arm reaching. And then once your left hip starts to lift, that's your indicator that you're reaching far enough. Anchoring through the left hip, opening through the shoulder. You're reaching for your right big toe, but keeping the shoulders stacked. Take maybe 3 more breaths here. Thinking about the side of the heart space. So it's the front and the back, obviously. But when you open the lateral pieces of the body, you open the heart too. We just forget about those sides. And sometimes those are the tightest pieces, causing the most obstruction. When you're ready, no rush. You're forward facing, seated tree pose, Janu Shirshasana, version A. So lift your chest on an inhale. If you want to lift the arms, that's great too. And then belly, chest, and chin in that order over your right leg. Keep flexing your right foot. On your inhales, the navel pulls back. On your exhales, you get longer through the back body. All of the bandhas, you've still got them. Mula, pelvic floor. Uddiyana, navel in. Jalandhara, chin. Couple more breaths here. And now your right hand will move, or you'll lift up on an inhale. Give yourself a second. Left hand behind your left hip. Press into your hand, lift your hips, lift your chest, reach, take some movement. Good. And then when that's enough, take one more breath in and then use your breath out to lower. Good. Now facing forward. Left leg long. Good. Bring the heels to the very front of your mat. Take an inhale to reach your arms up. Pull the navel in, and you're going to go backwards all the way down, one vertebra at a time, but you're using core strength and you're lowering systematically, lumbar, thoracic, cervical. Yes, good. Take an inhale. Exhale, hug your knees in. Pick up the head and shoulders, round the back. And then put the feet down. Arms down by the sides. We're going to do it's a big deal. Do some bridge breath. Arms are down by your sides. Knees are in front of your hips. Keep that. And now as you inhale, lift your arms, lift your hips, everything together. Top of the inhale, back of the hands overhead. As you exhale, lower the arms. Once the arms get to the hips, lower everything together. Inhale, lift everything up. Exhale, lower everything down. 3 more. Lift up, breathe in. Lower, breathe out. 1 more time, breathe in. Lower, breathe out. I know, someone's calling the tattoo shop. 1 more time. Now hold. Press into the feet. Keep lifting the hips. Bring the arms behind you. Maybe you take an interlace. And now 1 shoulder at a time, maybe a little more of the heart space can lift. Chest is moving toward the chin. Take 1 more breath in. As you breathe out, move the arms, lower the tailbone, imprint the whole spine on the floor. Supta Baddha, soles of the feet together, knees drop open. Reach the arms overhead. Take that interlace you took in Goddess. Flip the palms, yeah. Feel the stretch here. The armpits, the back, the chest. Good. Now, if that's where you need to stay today for Shavasana, great. If you want to bring the knees together and end in a Ananda Balasana, happy baby, that's fine too. Any other pose you need to finish to get all of your boxes checked, do that. The last pose that I will call is Shavasana, so preparing yourself for that, however you need to prepare. Maybe the legs are long, the arms are long. If you want to put something underneath your shoulders, the back of the heart to give you a little more lift, If you want to put something behind the knees to offset pressure in the low back, that's an option. Ways you can support your Shavasana. If you want to take these last few minutes seated, you can always do that too. Just a little stillness to complete our practice. Whichever position you choose to put your body into, be still. Let your physical body dissolve and start to think about gratitude, about compassion, about unconditional love, about all of those emotions, those elements that are encompassed in our heart chakra. Let yourself be full of that stuff. Be specific. Think about things that light you up. And as your physical body rests, you allow yourself to be filled with positivity. If your brain starts to think about the other stuff, you remind yourself that you're practicing. You're opening your heart, one breath at a time, clearing out obstructions. Start to bring your attention back into your breath. Don't change or adjust the body. Just start to notice the breath. Stay still. Stay restful. Just watching the breath. Yam, Y-A-M, is the Bij mantra that goes with the heart chakra. So as you exhale, repeat that mantra silently many times. So breathing in, and then as you breathe out to yourself, yam, 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 the whole time you're exhaling. Yam, 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 yam. Do that 3 more times. Big inhale, smooth to fill up, and then repeating yam as you exhale. When you're ready to move, start to move the chin, move the hands, move the feet. Maybe a long stretch to open everything back up as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, hugging the knees into the chest, rolling onto your right or left side, you decide which. And then come back into your seat. Sealing our practice with Anjali Mudra. Anjali Mudra is hands at the heart. Chin to the chest, maybe the eyes closed. Gratitude for this practice, for the ancient wisdom, and for all of the things that keep us connected. Namaste. Thanks, friends. Tomorrow's Wednesday, 8:30, Vinyasa. See you then. Have a good day. Happy Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Ooh, tacos, yeah. Taco Tuesday.
Maybe.
I think it's free at Taco Bell if you're into that sort of thing. Bye.